is Overhead Studios. You may have seen my last video, How to Survive Unprepared. Well, now I have a pack prepared, and I'm going to show you how to use some certain equipment that don't weigh much more than what you already have. Alright, so we've hiked about 10 miles into the woods now, and we're probably not going to be able to get back home before dark. And there's a good chance of rain, and it's supposed to get into the 20s. So some of the stuff I brought might end up helping. First off, a jacket. I've also got hats, gloves, and a rain jacket. Whenever you're getting a hat, always make sure it's brightly colored. I should have also gotten a brightly colored jacket. This is the only one I have. With bright colors, it'll make it to where you're easier to be found. With gloves, always try to get mitten gloves because it'll hold all your fingers in one spot, and the heat from each finger will keep all your other fingers warm. Staying warm will prevent getting fatigue, which will make it to where you don't want to do anything. And if you get to fatigue and stop moving, you'll eventually get into hypothermia. Now, with the chance of rain, you always want to have a rain jacket, because whenever you're wet, it increases your chance of hypothermia even more. Alright, next thing you're going to want to have is a nice place for shelter. Right here, this bank will be able to keep the wind and potentially some rain off of me. And with this limb, we can cut a few branches off and lay a few saplings against it, take the raincoat and lay it against it, and that would help me keep dry and warm. For this, you might want a good hunting knife would usually suffice, but sometimes you may have a bigger limb and you're going to want a hatchet. You can usually find anything you need fairly close. I could use this for a wall, and I could probably find some big leaves somewhere around here to throw on top of it. Then my rain jacket. All of those on top of it would make it fairly waterproof. Alright, in order to use a snare, you first have to find a good place. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little trail right here. This could either be a deer, a rabbit, or possibly a squirrel. Now, what you're wanting to do is take the little notch right here, take this, and then right like that, take your stake, so now whenever they run through here, they'll get stuck, and the harder they pull, the tighter this gets. So I cannot get my hand out unless I release it. So now, whenever something comes down the trail, this will catch them and hopefully get around their neck and will suffocate them. I can come back. Alright, the next thing you want to do is try to get a fire started. Personally, I always carry matches in a small waterproof container, which you can usually just use a pill bottle. Something else you can use if you can't find enough dry leaves to get it going, you can always start with chapstick. It's fairly flammable and it burns for a while because it has oil in it. Then you could use that to get sticks lit on fire, which are usually drier than leaves. Afterwards, you want to keep piling on bigger and bigger stuff to try to get the fire actually going, so that way you can try to stay warm for a bit longer. Also, fire is able to raise morale, so even if you're in a warm situation, light a fire and it will help.